Thomas and the Breakdown Train is the conclusion of Thomas's first character arc, and an introduction to this guy. We see some great character development on display here. I have things to say about it, but first, timestamps on screen, quick walk through the episode. The review will come soon. Every day, the Fat Controller comes to the station to catch his train. He always stops by the yard to talk to Thomas and give him words of encouragement. Thomas asks his driver what those funny trucks were, and his driver explains to him what a breakdown train is. Yes, it was that fast in the episode. One day, Thomas is in the yard when James, the new engine, comes rushing through with his brake blocks on fire, and the trucks pushing him out of control. Thomas was shocked and furious with the trucks, likely remembering his own runaway. Soon came the alarm. James was off the rails. Thomas grabs the breakdown train and rushes off. It's a little bit of tension here. Thomas is genuinely concerned. James's crew are checking him all over and comforting him. Thomas took away the unhurt trucks, leaving the crane to help James. He bumped into the trucks and scolded them as he took them away. He worked hard until everything was done. They left the broken trucks where they were, and they were finally ready to lift James. Thomas looked on in shock as the cranes lifted him into the air, and then lowered him gently onto the rails. James couldn't move, so Thomas helped him home. When they got back to the shed, Sir Topham Hatt was waiting and praised Thomas for his hard work in helping James. He promised James some new brakes and a fresh coat of paint, and Thomas a new branch line. Now Thomas is as happy as can be. He has his branch line and his own coaches, and the other engines visit his station every day, so he's never lonely. Review time. I really don't have anything to say about the music, but the Breakdown Train theme hits pretty well. As for visuals, the sets of broken or derailed trucks are awesome. Same with the shot of lowering James down. Thomas and his shocked face can be a bit unsettling at times, but it conveyed the message here. He was surprised. The big thing I love about the visuals in this episode, though, is the sunset shots. Just look at that sky. There's something really special about it. The range of oranges, pinks, and blues looks just far too good for some silly show about talking trains, doesn't it? It's super impressive. I love it. The lighting in the scene where Thomas brings James home is just fantastic. On to the characters. James! He exists now. We don't know anything about him yet. Next, Sir Topham Hatt. Firstly, it's made clear in this episode that he truly does care about his engines. He doesn't just like them when they're doing things right. He actually cares. He comes to see Thomas every day and encourages him. He brings him a positive attitude. And when Thomas helps James, he is genuinely proud of what Thomas has done. He shows that by fulfilling Thomas's wish to get out and see the world, giving him a whole branch line all to himself. This will put him in a tough spot, but he considers it worthwhile for Thomas to get the reward he deserves. Thomas, in this episode, shows that he really has learned from his mistakes. He remains determined even after a near-death experience, if you will call it that. He feels real empathy when he sees James running away, and he remains curious, wanting to know what the breakdown train is, and being shocked when he sees it in action. When the time comes, he acts heroically, running off to help James as fast as he can and completely determined to do everything in his power. When it's all over, he helps James home, and then he gets his wish. He gets to see the world, having his own branch line. And you know what? He's happy about it. He didn't just whine and wish about having something and not like what he got. At the end of the episode, the narrator says that Thomas is as happy as can be. He knew what he wanted, he earned it, and now he's content. The arc is complete. Sure, Thomas has more growing to do. Of course he does. Everyone does. He's still naive, he's still eager, but he's more patient now. He doesn't mind the tedious work quite as much. He's learned some things the hard way, but he got a positive reinforcement where it was needed. In 7 short episodes, half of which he didn't appear in, he has had growth that feels realistic. The pacing of the story is a little funny at the start, though. A lot of things happen really fast, but the slower pace throughout the rest of the story was used well. Sir Topham Hatt got yet another dimension to his character, Thomas finished his first arc, and it was done very well. This is the first 10 out of 10 I'm going to be able to give an episode in this series. I know it's not totally perfect, but it's better than everything that's come before. Yell at me in the comments if that doesn't sit right with you. Maybe you can change my mind. But this episode has a sort of finality to it. It completes a book. If this series were only about Thomas, it could end here and it would feel alright. Next episode, we get more on James. That video will be up in 1 week from now. So hang around, like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff.